Have you ever wondered what actually gets someone out of bed to go running before the sun is even up, day after day? Well, we're going to break down the super intense schedule of one of these dedicated runners. But, this isn't really just about the miles. We're going to uncover a really powerful life philosophy that's hidden inside this simple daily routine. We're always told to find your motivation, right? Get inspired. But let's be real. Motivation comes and goes. It's not reliable. So what if there's a better way? A more dependable way to hit your goals, especially on those days where you're just not feeling it. So, this is where we meet a runner named Koro. And for him, motivation is totally fleeting. His secret isn't some big, grand moment of inspiration. Nope. The thing that gets him out the door every single day is something he believes is way more powerful: a meticulously crafted routine. All right, let's dive into it. His day kicks off way, way before most of us even think about hitting the snooze button. I mean, just look at this timeline. There is zero room for hesitation here. He's up at 5:20 a.m., out the door by 5:55, and he's not done with his run until 8:10 in the morning. That is a massive commitment before most people have even had their first sip of coffee. And get this, he usually does all of that on an empty stomach. It's just what works for him. He thinks it actually trains his body to burn fat for fuel more effectively, which really helps on those super long runs. And this isn't just him aimlessly jogging around. Oh no, there's a real science behind it. He's constantly cycling through 4 different kinds of workouts during the week, from zone training based on his heart rate all the way to all-out sprints. Each one is designed to target a different part of his performance and keep his body guessing. And just when you think he's got to be done for the day, his day is really only getting started. After that crazy run, he'll finally have breakfast, then he heads to boxing practice, he calls it his new honeymoon phase passion, grabs some lunch, and then he finally goes to work. I mean, the discipline is just incredible. So that's the weekday grind, right? Just this relentless series of very specific workouts, but it's all building up to something bigger. Now let's see how all this hard work pays off over the weekend, which he says is the absolute core of his entire training philosophy. Just look at that number, 30 kilometers. That right there is the cornerstone of his entire week. It's a distance that demands serious physical endurance and, honestly, just as much mental toughness. Yeah, his Sunday long run is the non-negotiable anchor for his whole week. It's a 3-hour slog designed to get his body into what he calls marathon specification, basically building that deep, deep endurance he needs to really go the distance. So we've seen the schedule, and yeah, it's intense. It's so easy to look at all this and just think it's about having insane willpower. But the running itself isn't actually the main point. Now we get to the real superpower behind his consistency, this idea of the power of autopilot. So this is his whole theory, right here. The routine is a system. It's a pre-programmed set of actions that just takes over when your willpower inevitably gives out. It's designed for those cold mornings, the rainy days, all those moments where you just don't feel like it. And this is the first big payoff. Once that routine is locked in, your body just starts moving. It's on autopilot. That whole internal debate of should I, shouldn't I, it just vanishes because the decision was already made for you weeks ago. The second thing that happens is that this incredible structure starts to spill over into the rest of his life. By having his morning completely dialed in, he basically sets the pace for the entire day. There's no wasted time, everything else just kind of falls into place around it. And finally, it really sharpens your focus. By putting his morning on autopilot, Khosrow avoids what's called decision fatigue. He's not wasting mental energy on all those little choices, which means he has way more brain power and clarity left for his job and his other passions. I love this quote because he's so self-aware. He totally admits that, yes, sometimes it feels a little robotic, but look at how he frames it. He says that discipline is actually the easiest path. It removes all the friction and makes his life more efficient. It kind of makes it simpler in a way. So all of this discipline, this almost professional level dedication, it naturally brings up a really big question. Why pour so much of yourself into something that doesn't even pay the bills? And it's a question he asks himself too. It's something anyone who has a really serious hobby has probably thought about at some point. Is all this effort really worth it when there's no paycheck at the end? And here is his answer. Honestly, this is the heart of the whole thing. He believes that the act of doing something with passion, just for its own sake, that's exactly where you find richness in life. The value isn't about money, it's about something much deeper. So here's the bottom line. Well, yeah, getting a faster marathon time is a great goal. The real reward is the daily act of just showing up. The fulfillment comes from the discipline, the structure, and the person you become through the routine itself. So this leaves us with a challenge. And look, it doesn't have to be a 30-kilometer run. It could be anything. But what's the one routine, the one non-negotiable thing that if you truly committed to it could bring that same sense of richness and purpose to your life? I'll leave you with that one to think about.